Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
Did you hear what I said? There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
What's going on, freaks? Freak. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. Yeah. All right. Well, last night we didn't even get close to where I thought we were going to get. So I guess we have more to discuss. Where did we leave off last night? I think we were just merely at the point of asking questions about, did he choose the, when he got there, and when did he choose the house, etc. I mean, that's about as far as we got. But how's it going, everybody? Michelle Smith, Jessica Schubach, Michelle H, Dana Dane, haven't seen you in a while. She makes this cool artwork where she's kind of like put, I don't know, like splatter, I don't know what you call it. I don't even know what the name of that. Kind of, it's cool though. It looks like the moon and stuff on the artwork you gave me. And there's Amber Maiden, Just Peachy, Mike Weber, Lisa Valenzuela, and Timothy Cecil. And there's Derek Sherman there.
Hello everyone, come on guys, let's make it a good night. That is something we can control.
Yeah. Hey, well, thanks, Timothy. Yeah, Derek sent me some crazy Facebook videos of like the flood. Have you guys seen that? Any of those? How it started and, well, not really how it started, but like early on in it. Maybe I'll show some of those. Let's see, where's that first one? Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, this one.
Video now. So this, where it starts is at 0 minutes and 0 seconds. I'm starting it at the exact beginning.
So like this is somebody on a bridge. I mean, look at this. Like, look how far down that is. It's on a bridge, right?
Of the video. And like I said, this guy's obviously standing on an overpass of sorts. And he did not cut the camera, so there's no manipulation of this footage.
Look at this. Looks like a tidal wave or something.
And you can see the water coming down. So now we're at about 25 seconds. So it went from where we started to this in just 25 seconds. Now we're at 30. And you could already see, you could barely see the ground where those trees are standing. And now you're at 40 seconds. You already have rapids. 40 seconds. It was dry 40 seconds ago. And now here you are. So in 10 seconds, it's going to jump to about the 2-minute mark. And then there's a couple other timestamps that you'll see. It's really pretty extraordinary. I mean, it's pretty terrifying. So that's the 2-minute mark. Look at that. Those trees are now completely submerged. Look at 3.5 minutes.
Wow.
Look at that.
It went, wow. I just saw to that in 3.5 minutes.
Insane.
5 minutes. 8 minutes. Now it's almost up to the overpass. You saw how high he was above the ground there. 12 minutes. 14 minutes. It's pretty much up to the overpass.
This guy gonna get off that overpass or what?
He leaves.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, 16:45.
Look how high the water is there. I mean, at the beginning, it looked like this off of there, where he's looking way down at the water. And it rose like 20...
Is that like 20 feet of water right there?
Yes, 20 feet of water. All that land. Look at 21 minutes.
21 minutes
It's
from
battering
nothing.
the overpass.
That's absolutely insane. No wonder. I mean, this thing was just lightning fast. Crazy. Insanity. All right. So there was some, I guess, some news. Well, I'm not sure if it's news. I think what the problem is like the media and everybody was so prepared for the trial. It's just sort of like put everybody kind of in a weird position. You know, here's a article on People today that was about the same thing that we've talked about. Inside the incel theory of Idaho murders, did Bryan Kohberger use avatar of mass killer online? Well, I don't know what they're talking about. Like the avatar that he used for Papa Rogers, and by the Papa Roger, I mean. And I don't know. Somebody said that Papa Rogers. I saw it somewhere where they said Papa Roger means that he thinks he's the dad of of Elliot Rodger, and it's like, no, that's not what they're saying. Papa Roger means that Elliot Rodger is the father of incels. You know, like he's the guy. It doesn't. I mean, it's so crazy. Like calling it, I'm Papa Roger, meaning like you're the head of the. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, don't you guys think the term Papa Roger means that you're sort of giving an homage to Elliot Rodger, saying he's the father of incels? Gray is large as life. Hey, all right, Cheryl. Hey, and don't forget what Timothy Cecil said up there. Let's try to have a good night tonight without having to, ask 1,000 times. That would make it a good night for me. All right, so this is, let's see, what does this say? Need to know. On Wednesday, July 2nd, Bryan Kohberger admitted to the vicious stabbing, murders of University of Idaho students Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez. Yeah, and, apparently they, the prosecutor didn't, have Kohberger do, some sort of, run through of what he did or anything like that, at least before it was signed. But I'm sort of thinking that I'm just hoping to God that Bill Thompson or investigators during this 2-week period here can ask him questions and get the truth for the families and everybody else, really. I mean, the reality needs to be known. Kohberger has never divulged why he went on the murderous rampage. Kohberger took a college class about serial killers, including Elliot Rodger. They've discussed Elliot Rodger in that class? That's interesting, because he's not a serial killer. A 22-year-old virgin who fatally stabbed or shot 6 people. Yeah, I remember he killed his roommates first, guys, and then he went out and started shooting up girls because, they were too pretty, and he never got to have one of them. So of course, that means he's got to kill them. I mean, what a joke. The highly this is something we've talked about. Yeah, I mean, I think he's part. I mean, you can be a psychopath and an incel, right? I mean, you can be both. But on Wednesday, July 2nd, in a surprise move, former PhD criminology student Bryan Kohberger admitted to the vicious stabbing murders that took place in an off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho, in the early morning hours of November 13, 2022. The Kohbergers in society have not believed this and still, to their mental illness, continue to pretend that he's innocent. Doesn't actually say that in the article. But on Wednesday, July... However, he was never publicly divulged why he went on the murderous rampage. People magazine continues. One Night in Idaho, The College Murders, a new documentary premiering on Prime Video on July 11th, which is tomorrow. I guess I'll try to watch it in the daytime. Hey, thanks Cheryl and Amber Maiden for gifting memberships. And welcome to Oedipus Rex or Oedipusaurus Rex. And who's the other one? Side Eye Kate. I can see she's probably looking at me side-eyed. Let's see. His interactions with women, and he is reported fascination with serial killer Elliot Rodger. Well, Elliot Rodger isn't a serial killer. He killed on one day, and he was a spree, and I'm not even a spree killer, just a mass killer. That's it. I mean, that's actually what Kohberger is. You know, I think he was going to become a serial killer, but Elliot Rodger just wanted to go out in a blaze of glory and kill. I think Elliot Rodger actually took his own life, if I remember correctly. He was injured in the car. Yeah, so it's fast. And we went over, if you missed it a couple nights ago, we played a whole bunch of the Elliot Rodger, I don't know what you call them, selfie videos that he would take of himself, vlogging. And he was absolutely nuts, you know. Two former students who studied criminology and at DeSales University in Pennsylvania described him as a loner who didn't have very many friends. He was someone who traveled to school and then bounced, Kohberger's former classmate Josh Ferraro said in the 4-part docu-series. You didn't really think too much of him, and you would try to get personal, and he wouldn't give you much. I actually bought that James Patterson audio book, and hopefully it comes out, you know, when it's supposed to come out. I wish they would do it earlier, because then I could just listen to it. I've been trying to walk every day for a bunch of miles, and it's kind of fun when you're out there. I mean, when this job here, you sit around too much, you know. So I just walk around, I have my earplugs in, and I listen to either NBA radio or podcasts. That's how I listen to the entire book. What the hell's his name again? Hell, I can't remember. That more recent, the guy that's on all the shows now. Yeah, how do we know that, Sully? I mean, so when you say that, how do we know that to be certain? I mean, what do you mean look it up? I have Elliot Rodger's manifesto. We could look at page 118 if you want, but what makes you think that that's something that's real? I mean, where are you getting that from? Okay, reported. Okay, who reported it? When? Where, you know? Ferraro said that while at DeSales, Kohberger took a class about serial killers and their motives, including that of Rodger. Yeah, he's not a serial killer. I'm 22 years old and I'm still a virgin, he said in a video per CNN. I know, it's amazing how we played this on the show and then a day later everybody's playing it as if they, we just kind of thought of that. Yeah, I'm all right, Phil. Haven't seen you in a million years. Roger said he planned to enter the hottest sorority house and slaughter every spoiled, stuck-up blonde, S-word I see inside there. Roger attacked seemingly inspired Alec Minasian or something to run down 10 people, mostly women, on a Toronto street in 2018, according to BBC. Before his attack, Menagian maybe posted on Facebook, "The incel rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all the Chads and Stacys. All hail the supreme gentleman, Elliot Rodger." So, Papa Roger. I mean, he was probably the first one to act out in a violent way like that from the incel community beat for that reason. In the docuseries, Christine Cameron, administrator of the University of Idaho murders Facebook page, said shortly after the murders, a Facebook user, and I actually talked to somebody that was in that group. She sent me all the different, I know, you said page 18 100 times. Let's see. Facebook user named Papa Rogers began leaving disturbing messages in their discussion group. Did the killer stop at four victims out of exhaustion, convenience, or lack of knowledge? Meaning maybe he didn't know that there was 2 other people in the house, or let's see, what is he saying? Victims out of exhaustion, convenience, or lack of knowledge. I think it's either A or B. I don't think, well, he didn't even go in there to kill 4 people. That's the thing. Other posts included mentions of the fixed blade knife used in the crime and the discovery of a sheath left behind. Though at the time, no information about a sheath. Well, yeah, but it was just kind of common sense. I mean, he might have just been one of the few people to deploy common sense, because they said a fixed blade knife, and then they even said that they're looking regarding a K-bar knife they mentioned in the media. Okay, so it's not something that, so once they said, hey, a K-bar knife they're looking for, well then how would you know that it was a specific brand of a knife? Well, one logical conclusion would be that something related to the knife was left there, and why not the sheath? I mean, I think Kohberger likely is Papa Roger. Okay, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But that piece of information he probably felt comfortable with, because it just made him seem, it was creepy to some, but then you could also just look at it as being really logical. But hey guys, if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel tonight. We're still just kind of at 1/250, or I'm not even sure what percentage that is. Something like 1/8 or 1/5 or some tiny little number like that. So here we are again, another night on the show. We need the support of the people watching the show so that by the end of the month we have money to support our various, we have a scholarship fund that we're putting one more $1,000 in, and then we'll give out $6,000 in scholarships. And then we have a DNA fund, and we have all kinds of other stuff. So if you could please help support the channel as a group, as Timothy Cecil tried to do early on, to absolutely zero response, that would be cool. Thank you. Ferraro referred to Kohberger as an oddball in the docuseries. He is smart, but he's like a robot. Yeah, that's exactly right. He said, purely based off of the fact of his social inability to perform a normal human manner, I can absolutely see someone like him being involved in something like this. See, when you watch him when he gets pulled over by that female cop, that's Kohberger right there. I mean, just sort of weird. But that was him trying really hard to be seemingly normal. And I guarantee you that, I mean, the sister, by the way, his sister thought that he was the killer because of how he's been, who he is. You know, I mean, I wouldn't even think anything like that if, like, my brother, there was a white Elantra, my brother drove one, but his sister thought, oh, God, oh, man, because she knew that there was something wrong with him, and it just really clicked. Hey, thank you, Ms. Win Rocks. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think his family all knew what was going on. No, they want me to leave a comment. Alright, so we got that one. We can try it. Let me see if I can find. Where would I put that? Elliot. Roger. I was looking for it in this huge folder that I got. It's got years and years of stuff in there. Who are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know why that's not Elliot Roger in the picture with the face on it. It looks kind of more like Kohberger, but you know, somebody that looks like him. I mean, I don't know why they think, does it look like Papa Roger? It doesn't look like Elliot Roger whatsoever. Oh, there it is. That was quicker. Alright, you're saying page 118. Here's this. Well, thanks for trying, Timothy. So if he highlighted page 118, is this one? Oh, no, the pages are numbered. So it must be this one. Let's see what it says. Hey, thanks, Michelle H. The website PUA Hate is a very depressing. This is Elliot Roger. It shows just how bleak and cruel the world is due of the evilness of women. I tried to show it to my parents to give them some sort of dose of reality as to why I am so miserable. They never understood why I'm so miserable. They have always had the delusion that everything is going well for me. Especially my father. When I sent the link of puahate.com to my parents, none of them even bothered to look at the posts on there. I'm not sure what PUA Hate is. Anybody know what that is? I don't even know if I want to look it up. I don't want to go to that page. Let's see. After a spring season spent in absolute despair, while other young people lived healthy lives of sexual pleasure, he talks about that all the time. Summer arrived. Summer is even worse than spring, especially in Santa Barbara. Flocks of hot young girls go out in their shorts and bikinis, further tantalizing my sex-starved body every time I look at them, knowing that they gleefully show off their desirable forms, yet they would never give me a chance to be their boyfriend, only increased my already boiling hatred towards all women. I could not leave my apartment without seeing at least a few of them. The only place I could go where I could be at peace whenever my loneliness was the Lake Park Goleta. I spent a lot of time there trying to establish a sense, probably meant to put of in there, peace and serenity whenever my loneliness in Isle Vista became too unbearable. As I looked at all the beautiful trees around me, and the towering mountains in the background, I wondered how a world so beautiful can be such a dark and cruel place. Indeed, a beautiful environment is the darkest hell if you have to experience it all alone while other men get to enjoy the company of women. The thing is Kohberger had women that liked him, and actually, the Korean girl that liked him was pretty, so I don't know what the hell he just had a specific look, or maybe his, whatever is wrong with him, is why he doesn't notice if somebody is, interested in him. Now, for a while, I had been deciding on whether I would exact my retribution in Isle Vista. Oh, wait, I think I need to move up. I had nothing left to live for but revenge. Women must be punished for their crimes of rejecting such a magnificent gentleman as myself. Well, just listen to your words. You're not magnificent. All of those popular boys must be punished for enjoying heavenly lives and having sex with all the girls while I had to suffer in lonely virginity. That's exactly what he talks like in those videos, the exact same words, etc. It was already June, and I had been living in Santa Barbara for 2 years. 2 whole years. I lived in a college town full of young, attractive students who partied and had sex all the time, and I didn't get to experience any of it. No one invited me to any parties, and in all the times I went out by myself to Isla Vista, none of the beautiful blonde girls. See, you see how that's it right there. Like, he doesn't care if you have dark hair and you're beautiful. Screw it, man. I am looking for the hot blonde. Okay, and so could that be kind of what Kohberger's doing? I mean, he focused in on Madison Mogan, and she's got blonde hair, and she kind of looks like the classic, beautiful, somebody like Kohberger or even Elliot Rodger would have focused on, don't you think? Yeah. Yep, we're still only at $9.99 on the super chats, you guys. We got to keep moving. We're at a third of the month now. Let's see. Not one girl. These are crimes. So it says, and I didn't get to experience any of it. No one invited me to any parties. And in all the times I went out by myself to Isla Vista, none of the beautiful blonde girls showed any interest in having sex with me. Not one girl. It's like there's something wrong with this guy, These are crimes that cannot go unpunished. The more I thought about all these injustices that were dealt to me, the more eager I became for revenge. It's all I had left. I didn't want to die, but I knew that I had to kill myself after I exact my revenge to avoid getting captured and imprisoned. For a while, I had been deciding on whether I would exact my retribution in the Isle Vista of Santa Barbara City College. In both places, I had suffered greatly at the hands of everyone there. I have seen attractive young couples walking around in both places, and those were my targets. See? I wanted to kill as many attractive young couples as I possibly could. After a lot of thinking, I came to the conclusion that the day of retribution will take place in Isle Vista. Hey, thanks, Amber Maiden. She's trying for a wave, everybody. Let's see if we can get that going. On weekend nights, the streets in Isle Vista
Ocean wave emoji.
are always flooded with young couples, and good-looking couple, popular kids, walking to their parties. What better place is there to exact my retribution on my enemies? Every time I walked around Isle Vista trying to meet girls or fit in with popular kids, I've only been treated with disdain, as if I'm an inferior mouse. On the day of retribution, the tables will indeed turn, I mused to myself. I will be a god, and they will all be animals that I can slaughter. They are animals. They behave like animals, and I will slaughter them like the animals they are. Why? Because they didn't find you attractive? Is that? It came to a point where I had to set a date for the day of retribution. All right, don't let Amber Maiden down, you guys. You remember how she went through that long stretch where she tried to do waves and people just ignored it like it was... Thanks, Amber Maiden. And Derek, who gifted a membership to Beth Fleckles. Yeah, I mean, this is 141 pages long, this thing. That's like a book. I mean... And it's single-spaced, and I mean, it's, it's a lot of writing. It came to a point where I had to set a date for the day of retribution. I originally considered doing it on the Halloween of 2013. That is when the entire town erupts in raucous partying. There would literally be thousands of people crowded together who I could kill with ease. And the goal was to kill everyone in Isle Vista, to utterly destroy that wretched town. But then, after seeing footage of previous Halloween events on YouTube, I saw that there were too many cops walking around. It would be too risky. One gunshot from a cop will end everything. The day of retribution would have to be on a normal party weekend, so I set it for sometime during November of 2013. Well, that's pretty interesting. You know, a normal party weekend in November. There you go. Is that what they said? The last line up there. I mean, it is sort of interesting, right? I mean, it could have been 1 of 12 months. And I think Kohberger specifically, he was running out of time, to be honest with you. I mean, that was his last chance. So I think that's what made him get really antsy, because, you know, he just wanted to do it. And he only had 5 days until he got his new plates. So he had to get this done. I think he must have got him on Friday. Or maybe Saturday. So he needed to get this done before he had his new plates, because he wanted to put those plates on to sort of as more of a disguise as well. The M's? I don't know what that means. You got to type a full sentence. I don't know why people do that. Everyone thinks we're all in with the abbreviations, saying they always put the abbreviations for names and stuff, and it's like, you just say their names, you know? Don't leave Amber Maiden hanging. Hey, look at that, Amber Maiden. They did it to you again. The goal would give me 5 months to plan and prepare. So that's sort of interesting too, right? So maybe he already picked November. Oh, guess what? What is 5 months before November? That's like May, right? That's crazy. I wonder if he read this damn thing. And he bought the K-bar in March, the balaclava in January, and then he picks the school, and it's all planned for November. It's wild. Hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley.
Ember M's Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji.
I wonder what his
Ocean
plan was in
wave
general.
emoji.
He was fired from student teaching, so... Well, I mean, he just... No, he wasn't... He was going back to school there, though. You know? But he didn't know he was fired, though, Midnight Coop. He didn't know he was fired until he was, like, on the... You know, on his trip back. So... He had all the plans in the world to go back to Pullman. He got fired after the murders, too, so... Yep. Let's see what this next part is, though. This goal would give me 5 months to plan and prepare. 5 more months of life. But then again, I wouldn't even call it life. The existence I've had on this world during the last 8 years is anything but life. A feeling of overwhelming dizziness and anxiety swept over me. I was actually going to die. I couldn't believe it. Then I realized that my life was already over anyway. I was never going to lose my virginity. I was never going to experience love and sex. I was never going to have children. This final act of retribution is the only thing I could do. It was very hard to come to terms with this fact. I felt very trapped and lost. Yeah, well, I mean, Kohberger, his plans were different. His plans were to kill and to keep killing, and that was just going to be the first. You know what I'm saying? Yep. All right. Anyways, this thing goes on. It's kind of, you know, sort of interesting to read about it, you know. Just going through, basically kind of goes through his whole life. All kinds of different things that he did. And that's when he's 7 years old, you know, 8 years old. Goes through the whole thing. Yeah, it's just so strange these days, Amber. I don't know what's happening. It just seems like it's, you know, last night we ended up good, but it's just strange, all the, you know, the prior, I don't know what goes on. It's hard, difficult. Yeah, let's see. And here is the... somebody's trying to compare Luigi Mangione, apparently, like he's got visual snow too or something. You know, 2 individuals at the center of recent high-profile murder cases may have the same rare and concerning health condition. Bryan Kohberger, who pleaded guilty to the murder of University of Idaho students, and Luigi Mangione, accused of stalking and ambushing. Well, he's not just accused. See, here's the thing, everybody. Is there anybody out there that doesn't think that Luigi Mangione is the killer? Because again, you're a complete moron if you believe that, okay? It's just so clear and obvious. So anyways, it says, the rare disorder impairs vision as if the person is looking through snow or static on an old television. Well, he's got the same thing. I mean, it sounds like Luigi Mangione, they're saying, also has that. Both Kohberger and Mangione have posted publicly about their condition, according to multiple reports. Kohberger reportedly posted in a forum on a platform, Tap Talk. We've seen that one. In one post, which has resurfaced on Reddit, these words stood out. As I hug my family, I look into their faces, I see nothing. It is like I'm looking at a video game, but less. We read this the other day. It is like I have severe brain damage. I am stuck in the depths of my mind where I have to constantly battle demons. Mangione also reportedly posted about the topic on Reddit in 2018, commenting in forums on VSS as well as on It's probably visual snow syndrome, as well as on other conditions he apparently suffered from, including brain fog and chronic back pain. Mangione, who faces numerous charges, including terror-related murder, has also allegedly written at length about his disgust with the health insurance. Who gives a shit? So apparently this is, what it looks like with visual snow. Scientists assume the condition may be related to excitability or hyperactivity in the occipital lobes of the brain, where images are processed. Visual snow syndrome is a chronic condition for many who may also experience migraines and anxiety. The uncommon disorder also impacts about 2 to 3% of people globally, said Cleveland Clinic. Always seeing snow or static is very in every direction, even if eyes are closed. I gotta tell you, I was freaked out when I got my first ocular migraine a long time ago. Like, I was driving, and all of a sudden, I could see that. I thought, it kind of felt like I looked into the sun or something, because it was kind of like this blurry lightning bolt kind of thing up here, and I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then it just sort of got worse and worse. I think actually I was playing golf. That's right. I was playing golf, and it made me really panic. I was just kind of, and then I'd close one eye, and I'd close the other, and it was still there. So that's when I realized it's not really in my eyes, it's in my brain somewhere. And then it made me panic, like, oh my God, I thought it was something worse. And so then I go home, and I think the first time I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of waited it out or something. And the second time, though, I took ibuprofen, and it went away like quick, But you just kind of sit there. It gives me a headache, too, afterwards. So even though I've got my eyes closed and everything, after the ocular migraine's over, you get like a headache. They suck. Ringing or buzzing in the ears, difficulty concentrating, confusion, brain fog. In order to get a diagnosis of visual snow syndrome, experts urge visiting a neurologist. Yeah, I don't need to go through the whole thing. I don't know. I don't think visual snow makes somebody a killer, It just doesn't. I think perhaps your other, whatever else you has, maybe gives you the propensity to have visual snow. Well, and I've heard from Georgina Stoliker. She had surgery on her brain. They had to take some stuff out. And she's leaving me voice messages, so that's good. And, she's getting treatment now, so. She's hilarious, she's just, like, messages she leaves. They're funny. So everybody put out some positive vibes for Georgina Stoliker, who probably isn't even listening, but maybe that'll do good. Who has good impulse control? I don't know if you're talking about Kohberger, but my observation, when he drives around a whole bunch, I think he's trying to control his impulse by taking off, and he drives away, and then he sort of regroups himself, and then he comes back. That's what I think. I think he would like drive away, and then he's like, oh, he's too antsy to get going, so he would take off and come back, but he was like hyper aware of everything. That's why, when the DoorDash guy was there, a girl, he drove back and forth, and he was like trying to figure out what was going on, and But he would take off to force himself to waste time because he wanted to make sure that they were all asleep. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he has good impulse control. I mean, I guess it's controlling your impulse by driving around, right? So maybe he found a way to do that. But he was trying to control his impulse because he knows that has a difficulty with that. So he must have maybe figured out how to do that. Hey, thanks, Esther M. I did get to 160. We're actually at like 160 and almost 600. So almost it's 161. So maybe we can just go over this part here. Well, do you guys think that he put together, I got all this term kill kit? You know, I don't like the term kill kit. I mean, that's from Israel Keys. You know, everybody's got a kill kit now. But what do you think? Do you think that I think he just kind of went there with the K-bar knife and the stuff to mitigate the blood spatter. I don't think he had anything special. I'd like to know what that container was that he had. You know, what was he doing with that? And, you know, people out there say that there's no footprints of blood anywhere. But how do we know that that's true? I mean, where has that been written? That there's no footprints of blood in the house. I think what they were saying was they found one in front of Dylan's door that, somewhat proves the movements. That's all they were saying. It proved that Kohberger was right there and he was heading out the kitchen. Derek Sherman said, "Wonder if BK called his dad that morning around 6:30 to establish some kind of alibi and discuss it."
If BK called his dad that morning around 6:30 a.m. to establish some kind of alibi and discussed about his dad flying out on December Christmas break.
I don't know if he was trying to do an alibi because the murders happened way before that. But I think, it could be that he was already saying, "Hey, Dad, why don't you come pick me up?" Just because he's antsy. And I think and now we've learned apparently that it was the mom that he talked to, I guess. I don't know. That's what we heard recently. But again, it wasn't in the documents, so who knows? Well, I don't think he was there to kill everybody though, Cheryl. I think Kohberger went into the house to kill Madison Mogen. And then Kaylee happened to be awake. She was woken up by the attack. She was in the same bed. And then she sort of fought back, and it was more than he was expecting. Then all of a sudden, Xana heard that, and then she maybe comes upstairs, and now he knows somebody else is awake, so he chases them, and then now he attacks Ethan Chapin. I don't think he was going to kill anybody else. So, when he left, he didn't encounter the other two people, so he didn't feel it was necessary to kill them. He didn't see Dylan Mortensen when he was leaving. Dylan Mortensen thinks that he saw her because she saw his left eyebrow, but that doesn't mean a damn thing. He didn't. He didn't know that.
8213 West Summerdale, Norwood Park, ill. 60,000.
I think he would have sat down. He didn't think he woke him up. That's what I'm saying. I think it's just kind of really obvious. At the beginning, I thought he went in there to kill all four people. I remember saying that. That's what I thought. But when the more information came out, with the TikTok and the different, the texting and stuff, then you can see it's different than that. And then the DoorDash driver, the timing, when he was doing his loops. I mean, I'm the first person to put all that stuff together out on YouTube with the timing of the DoorDash and the loops, and because we had it all figured out a long time ago. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, don't you think he did stuff, Amber, to control his impulses? So I guess that's good control, right? Like if you have little triggers you can do, then that's good. Thanks, Ted Bundy. Look at that. Ted Bundy again. 8213. That must be one of the... what case is that? Let me guess. Illinois. That's probably a different killer. He had to rest after taking 4 lives. Sit back, relax. I don't know. I have him sitting in a chair in the room because that's what they said he did. I don't know for certain. It's kind of like, in there. That would be Xana on the floor. I don't put stuff. I didn't put anything on the walls. I did start doing that, but then it just got too busy. Then it got out of control, and instead of the small town police department. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think the FBI might have still been called in, given the nature, and the possible, signature, not signature, but a calling card, leaving the sheath around. I don't know. Probably would have taken a little bit more time to get the FBI in there. Yeah, it might have just turned into just sort of that is sort of interesting. Like if there was just one death, like let's say Madison Mogan was killed, I wonder how much more time it would have taken to get the FBI in there. Because it was such a big deal with 4 kids all killed in a house. Yeah. Well, we don't... Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is I guess we don't really know if any of the other nights were times where he was going to do something, and then he didn't do it. Yeah, they probably would have. And maybe that's what he was doing with the K-bar knife. Maybe he... was kind of looking into, just put the K-bar knife sheath there, and they'd start looking at, it's an ROTC student. Somebody that knew her. Oh my God. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it looks like we got a coffee from Ted Bundy, but it says Crooked Hillary. Crooked Hillary just donated a coffee. Yeah, we need more coffees, and we need more support. We're only at 25% still, if you can believe it. The sheath led to narrowing him down on a list. Well, it didn't narrow him down. The DNA on the knife sheath led directly to the name of the person who left the knife sheath there. They knew they had the right guy once they got that tip. The moment they got that tip, and they looked it up, and the FBI did already too. So here's the thing: when the FBI got the name Bryan Kohberger, and they already had known that they were looking at a white Elantra driving around on surveillance footage. And when they found the name Bryan Kohberger, and they looked it up, and he's a criminology student who drives a 2015 white Elantra missing its front plate, they knew they had the right guy right then. The FBI did. Then they gave the tip to the police to go figure it out themselves. I mean, put a 1 if you think the FBI, when they got the name Bryan Kohberger, didn't go and look him up. Okay. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Randy Lewis and Millennial 89. Now, let me do a poll on that one. Did the FBI look up Bryan Kohberger after genealogy led to his name? All right, there you go. Just put that in there. They did look him up. No, Michelle, that doesn't make any sense. They got the name Bryan Kohberger from genealogy, so the name is correct. And then they gave the tip to law enforcement. However, the FBI isn't going to stop. Oh, yeah, here's the name. Oh, shit, look at that. Because they already were looking at the surveillance footage. And they said, oh, my God, look. He's got a white Elantra, for God's sakes. That's what I thought that was Gacy's house. I just didn't remember what the guy's name was. Ted Bundy. You have to do another one. We'll have to guess that one. Yeah, everybody, we all do that. So there's some people that actually put no up there, which is 18 troll. You know, it's the 18% of trolls that are always here. All right, I'll just end that poll. You guys aren't really that enthusiastic. So they looked up Kohberger because, you know, here's his name. They're going to look him up. And, I mean, don't you think that at the moment they saw that he owned a white Elantra and that he was a criminology student at an adjacent college, that they just absolutely knew that they had the right guy right at that moment? They didn't have to do... You know, they're not the law enforcement agency that needs to go out and verify it. But I guarantee you, their profilers and everybody go, oh, this is him. We got him. The moment they saw that, and they might have said, hey, we've got a really strong suspect for you guys. Here's the tip: Bryan Kohberger. He's a criminology student over at in Pullman. And then they looked him up, and they did their own thing. Oh, he's got the white Elantra, and look at this. We even have reports, if we go back in time, that two officers on the WSU officers they looked up white Elantras because they had a bolo, and within a 30-minute time period on, I think it was November 29th, noticed that there was a white Elantra there, and it was Bryan Kohberger, and they put it in the system. And then when they looked up Bryan Kohberger's face, he had a massive caterpillars on his eyes or his eyebrows, and then they remembered what Dylan Mortensen had said, and they knew they were on the right path at that point. Oh yeah, and you know what's interesting? You could see the look on Fry's face. He was happier on a day before that because he knew. It's a huge iced tea. Let's see, it was the wrong year. No, it wasn't. It wasn't, Dana. Yeah. Well, I mean, sure, the original thing that they mentioned was 2011 to 2013. Because they didn't have a close look at it. And that was just an error on that person's, him saying that, because you can actually trade out the windows in 2011 to 2016. And then later, when they got the other surveillance footage that had the image of the Elantra at Ridge Road missing its front plate, they were able to narrow it down because it also showed the other elements and said it was a 2014 to 2016. And I think it's just hilarious. I mean, you know, the Kohberger nut jobs out there, they go out of their way to find like some sort of a technical, like, what kind of logic is this right here? You have an expert on cars. He originally says 2011 to 2013. But when further information comes in, he extends the range from 2011 to 2016. And then later further narrows it to 2014 to 16. Why isn't that okay to do? And especially before you've even arrested the guy. You know, well, how come that's not okay to do? Anybody know? I mean, are people just, well, you said something, so now you can never say something else. I mean, it's just wild. That's how they are, though.
1859 32nd place south in SeaTac, Washington.
Let's see. Let me guess. Who's that one? Is that the Green River Killer? Not the Green River Killer. What the hell's his name? Oh, Gary Ridgway. That's exactly the guy I was thinking of. It was the, what's he called though? Wasn't he the, I don't think Green River Killer was in Atlanta. What was he called? Yeah, no, he was the Green River Killer. Yeah, I got that. Okay, cool. Hey, I nailed it right out of the gate, man. My instinct came through. Hey, thanks, Ted Bundy. I got it right the first guess. All right. That's when they always say, go with your first instinct. I know, it's crazy that they think that, Notorious Nance. Oh, yeah, nope. I mean, listen, he's innocent because they said it was 2011 to 2013. Now, they can't just change it later, for God's sakes, to make it fit. You know, and that's how their brains work. It's really weird. You know, it's crazy stuff. Hey, cool, Joshua. Glad you like it. All right, I'm gonna put the link in here again, you guys. So remember, this time we got it all figured out. If you call in, you have to turn off YouTube. Like you want the audio on YouTube turned off, all right? And that will avoid the echoing. You can also turn on your there's also under the audio section echo cancellation, but I think when people have another source playing, it causes a lot of problems. All right, here we go. But let's see if we can get the support of the channel up tonight. Try to reach that goal, you guys. We're at like 40% now. All right, there's that. I can put a pin on it. I mean, it's just like later on if somebody wants to come on, talk about what their thoughts are. Not sure. Can I pin it? Oh, let me turn off these stupid reactions again. Is there anybody out there that actually likes the reaction thing? It's just, I don't think anybody, that was a dumb thing to put in there. Yeah. All right, so let's just go through the order in here. So everybody thinks he came through we all know that he came through the sliding glass door. Now, people wonder if the sliding glass door was unlocked. And I guess we don't know is, I think it's possible that he broke in with that K-bar knife. He looked up probably how to do it. I mean, or it was already broken, I mean, we'll know the answer because Dylan Mortensen, well, we're not going to get to know now, but Dylan Mortensen would know if it was broken or not. And so would Bethany Funk. And we know that it wasn't working after the homicides because they used chairs to keep the doors shut. All right. So he could have done the same thing that Danny Rolling did. He purchased a K-bar knife and then would break into the house with the K-bar knife itself. All right. So he came in through the sliding glass door. Either way, the lock wasn't working after the homicides. So it either indicates that it was broken beforehand and he either knew it or he didn't know it because he was prepared to jimmy it anyways with his K-bar knife. People are always like, how did he know the door? And I mean, I got to tell you, the logic that the Kohbergers use when they try to argue is it's so poor, it's embarrassing. It's just sort of like this weird, how did he know that door would be unlocked? How did he know that? Well, there's a whole bunch of, he'd been there 23 times. He could have gone down on another night, or it wasn't unlocked and he actually broke the lock when he went into the house. And that's why it was broken. And law enforcement would know that. All right, and then, so then he goes through the kitchen right here, and then I think everybody agrees that he goes right up the stairs, right? And then when he goes up the stairs, this time I didn't actually do it that way here. I go out to the living room first because I'm just doing a visual. Now I go back up, and then you go up the stairs, and you go up to the top. And then there's the, like this window here looks out back to the back. So Kohberger from that back parking lot could always see when people were coming into the house and going up the stairs, depending on where he parked back there. So he realized that there were stairs, and he knew that Madison Mogen would go to the top of the stairs after watching it a million times and turn to the right when she got to the top of the stairs. And then Madison Mogen would go into that door right there. And here's the door getting closer to it. That's Kaylee's room. And Kohberger was focused in on this room. And then inside of that room, this window would show Madison Mogen going into her room, and he's parked outside. I mean, it's kind of creepy just thinking about looking at this. But he'd be out there in the parking lot looking through the window as she came in. And maybe her, curtains were kind of see-through or whatever the hell it was. I don't know. But he could see when she was going up to the room. So he knew kind of where she was and he could get there by going through the kitchen. You just go into the kitchen. I mean, he may have parked back there on other nights where they had parties and could just sit there and watch the movements and see where people were going from outside. It's not hard for somebody to figure out the layout just by watching what people are doing. All right. And so then this is where they were found, or in the room right here. And I have a K-bar knife right there. Sheath, I mean. And then we're back downstairs. That's the living room. And so this is where when Dylan Mortensen was running down the stairs here, she walked fast or whatever, could look over and saw Xana in the room like that. Feet towards the door, head towards the wall there. And now we're walking, getting closer to the room here. It's actually playing like a video. And then here's a bathroom. Didn't quite look like that, but it's a bathroom. Now we're in the room. And I think this is kind of what the layout was. I think that wall right there is the wall outside of the house. And then if you could go through that wall, you wouldn't even go into the kitchen because the kitchen is right over there. This is this one singular wall that's outside, and the blood all came down and seeped through this wall right there. All right, now we're just exiting the room here. But hey, guys, we're having those massive lulls again. I'm not sure what's happening, but we just need to have the support on the channel to keep doing the stuff that we're doing. I do the shows. You guys support the channel. How come the live reaction didn't turn off? All right, there it is. Now it's gone. It should be anyways. How come it's still going? How come I can't turn off Wow, that's weird. I'm turning it off, but it doesn't stay. Wow, I can't turn off the reaction. That's weird. Even when I click the button and then hit save, it stays there. And you know when you're having a bad night is when a serial killer in the chat's the highest person supporting the channel the most. Maybe BK. We're currently at 33. Oh, look at that! There's Amber. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Hey, thank you, reaction trolls. All right. Thanks, Amber Maiden. All right. We made it to like 55%. Thank you.
Solely for the reaction emoji trolls. Be sure to thank them.
Well, thank you, reaction trolls. Yeah.
Let's get a wave going. Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji.
Yeah, there's that. That's sort of interesting that I can't change the... Maybe let me go over to Firefox and see if I can get rid of the emojis. Thanks, Dixie Hippie. All right. And we got the Amber Maiden. I was going to do the rap. And Dixie Hippie. I'm just going to see if I can go in here and turn it off. Wait. Create. Go in here. Oh, Jesus. That was loud. My voice is loud on here, isn't it? Ah. Hey, look at that. It worked over on Firefox. Weird, huh? Why does that make any difference? Pretty crazy, but it worked over on Firefox, so that's good. Steve Gonzalez mentions it right after saying that. What are you talking about? Now that thing that he just went with what people were saying. You can't hear the screams on there. 6 string sizzling. That little sound that's like, oh, whatever it is, it's not a scream of a person. He may have thought it was and kind of worded it that way, but that's not what that is. All right, I've listened to audio 1,000, million times doing the show, and that's just not what that is. All right, so just letting you know, don't spend any more time thinking about it. Anyone know when the house was built? I don't know. It was just kind of upgraded and not too long ago, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, to have the third floor. I don't think the third floor used to be there. And then I actually think that there wasn't really even... I mean, it's strange how the second floor drops down that one little step and then goes... I mean, I don't know why that's in existence. Yeah, don't build a whole bunch of theories on that 6-string sizzling. There was no scream or anything. He didn't throw something on her, and we don't know if Xana was covered with anything. See, the thing is there's a lot of people. You hear rumors somewhere, you hear somebody on a YouTube channel say something, and then you just automatically think it's a reality. There's no information that there was a blanket on Xana in any documents of any kind, nor has it come from any of the investigators. All right, nothing. So, you can take that for whatever it's worth. It's just is what it is. And so, and when you listen to a 911 call, there's this sort of weird sound, but it's not somebody screaming. It's a digital effect sound. It has a digital sound to it. Yeah, I think most houses would come down easy, to be honest with you, unless they're made out of brick or stone or something. I think they claim that because Dylan saw her on the floor but didn't call police for it. Well, what does that have to do with anything? She saw her on the floor. It looked like she was passed out, and she just didn't call police because she didn't want to verify in her mind that something really awful happened. I think, like I've said 1,000 times, she just didn't want the reality to become reality. I mean, when I try to use this example, if a child's missing, your child does not come home from school when they're supposed to, and they haven't called you, when does it become real? It becomes real when you finally call police and say, my child is missing. Then it just becomes this heavy, heavy thing. It was already heavy, but now it's real. Now there's a missing child. So it's sort of the same in a situation like this where you hear these sounds, you can see somebody's on the ground over there, but you don't want to go to that room to see, because then the horror becomes real if it's really something horrific. So they just kind of waited and thought, God, that was weird, the sounds were crazy, and waited and waited and waited. And then when Hunter came over, the first time they went upstairs, I think he went and got a knife or something, and he was going to go check in there, and he saw it, and he told them, get out, get out, get out, even that time, apparently. And then on the 911 call said something almost exactly the same. He told them to get out. So that means Dylan and Bethany never got to see anything because he wouldn't let them see it. And they didn't want to leave their room. And I've never thought, not even for 3 seconds in this case, that Dylan Mortensen or Bethany Funk had anything to do with anything. And in fact, I don't allow people to say that, okay? Because the case has been obvious from the beginning. I think the trial would be interesting just to get all of the details, and I'm hoping in some way we'll get all the details in this case. I've never seen anything worse. And I think that's why a lot of these people are deleting their videos, because, they made hundreds of videos. The clown, I bet you the clown made $20,000 minimum on just videos attacking Dylan and Bethany over and over and over again. And then he realized, once, Kohberger confessed that all the crap he was doing, he should have realized that before, was bogus. And those people all have libel claims against him. Hopefully people downloaded the videos. Yeah, and you can say the same thing about the UK guy. He did the same kind of videos, always kind of, I'm just spitballing here, but what if the... Dylan, and why didn't Dylan go over? Yeah, shut the hell up, man. You're just stupid. Embarrassing. Let's see. They made tons of money. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, everybody. I don't care if people on YouTube make income, but in the true crime community, if you're making income by pretending something is true to get sensationalistic, and you're making income, I have a problem with that. It makes me angry. I hate it. Okay? Unfortunately, that's what people like the most. Hey, what's going on, Scottster? Yeah. Well, yo again. Yeah, your video is incredible and creepy at the same time. Yeah, I mean the video today, I just put it out a shorter version of the other one because people, they only watch 7 minutes of a 24-minute video. So I thought, well, maybe if it's shorter, and that video didn't do well at all. But unfortunately, it's strange because if people watch that, they would know every single thing about what Kohberger did for that hour and 50 minutes. Just 50 minutes, but because it starts at, let's just say it starts around 3:30 when he pulls in, and then at 4:20 he's leaving. So in a 50-minute period, you can see all of the motions of the vehicle in that particular area, and you sort of see exactly what's going on. But unfortunately, people just don't want to watch it because they want to hear about the latest gossip comment that somebody made, and they'll never actually know it. And you always see that in the comments. They make a comment and they go, well, it was in the video. Did you watch it? Well, I didn't watch the whole thing. But, well, if you'd watched the whole thing, you would have seen it because it was in there. It's crazy. I don't know how it's allowed. I don't know how the clown is still in existence on YouTube. I mean, that's just what he did to Dylan and Bethany for months and months and months, creating, and the stuff he said was totally bogus, and the people watching believed it. And you see it in the comments. Oh, man, you're the best, dude. Oh, Jesus. Wow. Anyways. I write satire, but it's clearly Mark satire. Right, yeah, your little humorous stuff. Don't worry about who the clown is. Then you'll go over and watch it. Yeah, I don't want anybody watching any of it. And if you're somebody that knows who I'm talking about with my camera shooting up in the air, if you know what I'm talking about, you should be ashamed of yourself for watching it on a daily basis. The guy's an absolute joke, okay? And he's always been a joke. And he's even one of the ones that made fun of me, during the time. And he's just, anybody that has to wear a clown face when they're making videos, there's something wrong with them, right? And there's even more wrong with the people watching who believe in a person who puts a clown face on because they don't want their actual face to be seen. Yeah, he's just yeah, he's just as bad, Joshua. They're all the same, and the J guy, he's the same. It's just made somewhat of a name with the rare police interrogation. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and here's the weird part about my channel. The income that I make, which is less than those guys, we've donated $251,000 in 5 years. Now, how much has the UK guy donated? And how much has the clown given? That's what I thought. 0. Okay, so you can just take that to the bank. We actually make a difference here in society, and whether or not you like me or not, and you don't like the fact that I say, hey, everybody, if you can please help support the channel, and you don't like that, well, I'm sorry, but it's made a huge difference. And we are, we only need one more $1,000 at the end of this month to get the 6 more thousand for another scholarship run. And that means our channel would have given out $18,000 in scholarships. And that's pretty cool, isn't it? Better than not doing it. It's wild. God, I don't know what the hell this thing is. If I move my head for a second, this thing tracks it around. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this, the way it moves like that. I need something that's stable. It's cool that it kind of goes like that, Yeah. So anyways, if you're out there and you want to help support my channel, that'd be great, because we're just trying to work through the month. Had a couple bad days there recently and trying to get back on track. UK guy acts like he does charity. Oh, he doesn't do anything. I guarantee it. if you're a creator and you're going to be donating to charities, you're going to want to do it with all of your viewers and everybody, because it feels good as a community to do that, right? So when they don't do that, it's just totally bogus if they do it behind the scenes. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I actually show every single receipt on the show. Fortunately, with the scholarship, it does show up on the screen, but they don't send immediate receipt. And then also our DNA fund, we do it through my checking account as one of those digital checks that you send out, and then it shows up like a month later in an Excel spreadsheet that they send back. So, anyways, what do you guys think about us trying to get to the goal tonight? We're currently we still need about 20 channel memberships to get there. Well, thanks, Lanky Tor. All right. So, what are some other somebody put in some other thoughts that you want to talk about, or ask me any questions you want about this case. Anything. I mean, I think I know it really, really well, especially the physicalness part. I know a lot of the factual information too. I mean, I would say 99% of it, but that's known at this point. But I also I have it all mapped out. I know it all, everything, every single element. I've been there too. I've been to Wawaway Park. I've been to the property. I've been to where his apartment is. I've been to everywhere, different routes that he may have taken back. Yeah, Wawaway. But it turns out it is Wawaway. Yeah, I don't know why I put me and Amber were driving around, or somebody said, I don't know where that came from, but it was like Wawaway. Like an extra wah in there. But it's always demoralizing when you say, hey everybody, if we can help support the channel, and not a soul does. That's probably, it used to be where people go, oh yeah, let's get going. And now it's like, yeah, forget it. And what's different these days about that? It's weird. It feels horrendous. It's like let's see, if BK had a bag or whatever, what he carried out, do you think it could have been partial clean up kit? Yeah, I was thinking something like that myself, to be honest with you. Hey, thanks, Ted Bundy. Might be a strange question, but do you know where Xana ordered from? Where she ordered it from? Like, what do you mean?
Question, but do you know
Pullman's the only place that has the Jack in the Box. There isn't one in I did look that up too. Pullman has a Jack in the Box, but there isn't one in Moscow, Idaho. So that's where it would have had to have been ordered from. Back to the other question. I was wondering that myself. Is that when he sat down? Did he do something with that kit? Did he put something on his feet or take? What? I guess what's sort of interesting is, I don't know. That wouldn't make a lot of sense if he had like those little footy covers, and then you commit the murders, and you take them off, and then you walk out with your regular shoes. That's kind of stupid. So I don't know. Hey, thanks, Dixie Hippie. Yeah, I did call Jack in the Box. And they gave me the information. It made sense, right? Wasn't it like they clean between there's some kind of hour that they clean it or something? I just don't remember now what we said. Did I record it too? Or I did call Jack in the Box though, and they told me that they clean it between a certain time frame. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Change out the footies, but then if you took I don't know. But they said, but the reason I don't say that's because then there was van style foot imprints and blood outside the door, so that's why I was like, oh, well, he doesn't change the footy. Could have been. They said it looked like maybe he cleaned up or something. I mean, was he rinsing stuff off the gloves, or did he go into the, or did he, rinse, maybe rinse the knife off, or did he just change the gloves and put those in a bag? I don't know. I'm sure he looked up how to do all this, like how to remove contaminated clothing without it getting on yourself. And I think all of his cleaning was just like overkill. I bet you he barely put any blood at all in his vehicle, but he just wanted to make sure because he was paranoid. And it doesn't matter now, but what do you think he was carrying out that Dylan saw? Oh, yeah, well, we were just talking about that. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Was it a little... Thompson called it a container. Dylan Mortensen said it looked like a vacuum. So now I don't think it looked like a little tiny thing. I mean, right? Remember how we were thinking, oh, it looks like one of the edgers of a vacuum. So maybe it was a K-bar knife, but it looked like... But now it doesn't seem like that at all. It sounds like it's this bigger item that looked like a vacuum. So what was that? Where? Joshua said, great, I donated, trying to get a rally going on Venmo. Oh, Venmo. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. I see it there. We have no coffees tonight, if you can believe that. No, one. We got one from Crooked Hillary. We got one from Crooked Hillary. That's good. That's just who I was hoping to get one from. Yeah, I think we need, let's see, 70, like 15 more coffees and we get to the goal. Do you feel he had a firearm involved? I do not. I don't think he brought a gun with him. Wonder how it went in Madison Mogen's room. Yeah, that's something I try to picture. Like, okay, he goes up there, and then did he, like, he could see, obviously, that Kaylee's in the bed too, right? I mean, it's not like, it wouldn't be hard to see that. So did he quietly try to kill Madison, and then she made a sound or wiggled, and then Kaylee kind of wakes up and sees him in there, and it's like, what are you doing? What's going on? You know, I mean, I can't imagine anything more terrifying ever. But just, man, that whole scenario is crazy. I mean, I doubt he went in there and they were just awake and just started flailing around. Seems like they would have already been on the bed, because if you remember, they were together when they called Jack up. Remember how they kept calling him, and they did that until like 2:54, if I remember correctly, something like that. And so then they were in that bed probably, and they just went to sleep. So I would imagine that they were asleep pretty close to maybe the first time he did a pass going around, but maybe there's a cell phone still lit up in there. But if you notice, we don't have any information about that. I didn't really think about that till just now, but in the documents, let me open up that Excel file again. Hold on. It's interesting to have that last communication. I think this one's better when it's like, no, not that one, this one. Just like that, right? Yep. All right, here we go. We've got, if I move it down at 3, that wouldn't be, what time would that be? 2:50 something. Do I have this in here? When they were communicating? Maybe I need to put that in there. Oh, yes, right here. So at 2:26, Kaylee begins calling her boyfriend Jack. And then at 2:42, Kohberger's phone is kind of leaving his residence at that time. And then 2:44, Kaylee calls Jack for the 6th time. And then at 2:44, Madison begins calling Jack. And then Kohberger's vehicle is now near Nevada Street. And then the CAS data shows Kohberger's phone is in Southeast Pullman at 2:47. And then at 2:52, Madison calls Jack for the 3rd time. And then at 2:52, Kaylee calls Jack, so just one after another. And then at 2:53, Madison calls Bethany. So that's wild. Her last communication that we're aware of, and that was in the documents, and I think it would have been in there if there was more, because they put all the cell phone communications, and they have one here of Madison calling Bethany Funk. That's interesting, isn't it? So that's at 2:53. And then at 2:53, at that exact time, Kohberger's Elantra is heading southeast on Nevada Street. And then at 2:54, it shows that he turns his phone off over in that area. So it shows you, Madison is still awake when Kohberger is just about heading out and heading towards Moscow, Idaho. And then at 3:02, Kohberger's white Elantra is spotted at Floyd's cannabis shop. And then we don't know, there's some time missing here too. Like from Floyd's cannabis shop to get to Indian Hills Drive, it might take 10 or 15 minutes. But he shows up there in 24. So where he went prior, we don't know the answer to that. All right. Hey, thanks, Derek Sherman and Lanky Tor. Very cool. Thank you. And look at that, Derek Sherman, 1 month. Hey, we got to get that longer. Yeah, man. Thank you guys. Appreciate your generosity there. I think having this timeline has been so valuable for, so you have the mapping and you have the timeline. And I know there's more that we could put in here because I keep stumbling upon stuff. Eventually, we'll have all the information and I'll just fill it completely out. I can't remember. There was something the other day that seems like I could have put in there. And welcome, Steph C, 2 Muck and then Brown Eyes. And all right, so what are we now? We're 6, 7, 8, 9 channel memberships away. Maybe 10, probably 10. And then I'll donate 5 memberships myself. All right. And it does cost me. You get 2 free sets of 10 at the beginning of the month, but after that, it's 25 for me as well. See, this is why your analysis is the best. Nobody else has, or at least shares, all this information. Yeah, I don't put my spreadsheet out there because I don't think it's like why would I spend that much time and then let some other Joe Schmo just sort of use it? I do share it on the screen, like you get to see it all. Somebody can sit here and screen grab and all that. Hey, thanks, K-Me. All right. So now we just need 4 more of those, or $20, I think. Just to get to that. Can anyone think of any serial killer-like monsters that got caught like BK after the first murder? Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know if we would have heard about him as much as a serial killer. There has been people that have killed like a serial killer. For example, don't you guys think that like when a girl's jogging on a path and a monster comes up and attacks them and kills them, isn't that really like, that's what serial killers do? But maybe they got caught after the first one. But that's what a serial killer does. Who else does that? Other than that, that's exactly what they do. So for me, like if you got, like I think Richard Allen, for example, He's one of the ones, though, that I don't think would have turned into one because I think he didn't like it. I think he felt bad. He didn't do this, when he was done. He didn't put his thumbs up. Right, that exactly. Molly Tippett's killer, that's a perfect example. He would have killed other girls exactly the same way in the future. Right, they're not classified as one, but don't you think that they would have been one? I mean, when you attack, well, like the guy that was arrested for, what the hell was her name? He was one of the illegal migrants killing, and he was on that camera in Los Angeles and then killed her on that trail. He's a serial killer. That guy. Rachel Morin, right. That guy is an absolute serial killer. That's what he was going to be doing. I mean, what a just psycho. Jesus. But he didn't become one that we're aware of. But didn't he kill some people in other places though, like from his country? This is iced tea, by the way. It's not whiskey. Welcome, Maria. And thanks up there again to K-Me, that was very kind, and Lanky Tor and Derek for those memberships. We just need 4 more total, and then I'll donate 5 myself. Why did it take him so long to get there from his apartment? Well, it took him, he got to Floyd's cannabis shop in exactly the amount of time. All right. So I actually timed it. I was with Amber. We were actually kind of laughing. It was just so perfect. It's unbelievable. So this is what he did over here. I made a video. I'm going to put I already did the 360 version of this. So right here, he goes on Southeast Nevada Street and takes this really out of the way route where there's no cameras. I believe this 100% that he did this. It might, it could come out that it was something else, but this is a Kohberger move, right? So instead of going like this, just watch how simple this is. You come out to the highway right here, which is East Main Street, Highway 270 at the same time. There's cameras all over the place. I mean, look at all these businesses that are going to have cameras, and that would show that he's heading towards Moscow, Idaho. He didn't really want that. So what he does is they say he's going southeast on Nevada Street right here, and then he goes around. I don't know if you can see. Let me get that bigger pointer thing. I think it's this one. Yeah, right. Well, wow, there it is. I just happened to have it on the screen there. So he goes like this. He goes on Nevada Street and then down like this. I think that's Forest Way and around, and then Southeast Forest Way, and then he comes out right here. And if you watch that 360-degree video I made, it's crazy. I mean, he literally, there's nothing, you can't even see anything over here. It looks like you're in the middle of nowhere, just right there. So then he takes off and he goes this direction, all the way around, up and around, and then goes like this, and I think right over in this area, yeah. So right there is Floyd's cannabis shop, and that drive that I showed you takes exactly 8 minutes to get there, and it's perfect. Right when he turned his phone off, 8 minutes later, you're right there. And if I tell you, if he driven straight down like this to here, he would have got there much quicker because it's just immediately on a highway at night. Yeah, so he drives by Floyd's cannabis shop at 3:02, and then look, he's right into the town here, and then it only takes. He should have been in this area by like 3:08 or something, and easily been on Indian Hills Drive by like 3:12 or so. But he got there at 3:26. So there's like 14 minutes of missing time right here. So he probably came down like this. There's also another way. See, I have him coming down to here and going up like that, but he easily could have turned here on Southview Avenue and then came up like that. Hey, thanks, Derek Sherman, and Derek Sherman again. Hey, that's very kind of you. So Derek Sherman just gifted memberships to Mark Winter and AG. So, yeah, there's just time missing over there. Well, there's Derek Sherman again. Thanks, Derek. He always sends me these cool, kind of interesting videos on Facebook about anything, not just, the case I'm covering. So where he went, we don't know. I got to tell you, it's always still a little bit weird to me that, see, over at this gas station here, and I think it was at 342 or something, there's this car that looks just like a white Elantra driving by, but apparently that isn't his. It's weird. Because at 343, it's on Paradise Drive. 345, its headlights are seen northbound on Walanta. 347 headlights. So that whole time is taken up by the car. Oh, yeah. I think his old professor is going to get a book out of that. For sure. No doubt about it. Play the funny clip. Which one? Oh, the one about Vinny? Had Gray on the show, Vinny. Come on, Gray. Play the funny clip. I can't believe you had Gray on the show. Oh, yeah, that one. Okay. Yeah, I will play that one again. It makes me laugh every time. As long as you send in some super chats, all right? Let's make that plain as day. Okay, who sent it to me? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I actually recorded it myself. But it was Alan McMahon that sent it to me. There it is. This is when I was in Moscow the day before he pled guilty. But I was on, so listen. Yee-hoo! That's exactly how it goes, man. I can't believe you. I can do it perfectly. I mean, I can imitate it perfectly. I can't believe you had Gray on, Vinny. I'm never watching again. All right, man. One more time. Here we go. Oh, God. That's just the best. That's the best in the world, man. You have to admit, man, that's just freaking awesome.
Steve, did anybody ever call you from the prosecutor's office to just personally discuss this with you? Did anybody offer to meet with you in person to go over this potential plan?
No. We had this regular meeting that we have to try basically do an update of what's going on, where things are at, because Idaho is actually an amazing state where it really does care about people. We just get one or two, people who just don't care about the victims and don't care about justice. So here we are. We're stuck, and we can't get out of it. If they're not working for us, they're working against us, guys. I mean, we have to wake up to this. I mean, we have to hold people accountable. Coeur d'Alene just had a shooting where we attacked our firemen. People need to stand up to these monsters and stop freaking bowing down to them and giving them childcare. I mean, prison is nothing but adult childcare. You get free vision, you get free dental, you get free meals, you get AC, room and board, cable TV, internet access. It's ridiculous what we give our prisoners. Better than what we treat our vets. Our vets coming back from war with missing limbs. This is unacceptable. I want my community support. I want that jury to make the decision, not Thompson, not some old man who's 70 freaking years old deciding how my daughter's life weighs in a courtroom. That is not justice. That is decide justice at all. I'll take my juries, I'll take my peers all day long. I'm sick of one man deciding or one woman deciding what a life's worth. We couldn't pick the prosecution. We inherited them. But everywhere we go, we partner with people like you who are relentless and tireless, and they just chase down the truth. And I really appreciate that's what you brought to our case.
That's what I do.
When people reach out to me, I'll tell them that this is a network that you can partner with and understand that they'll be there to the very end.
He tells me the same thing about myself when I talk to him, because that's what I do. And I would actually say I put out more accurate information than even they do. Okay? Because I don't know if you remember, but when I was on with Ashley Banfield, she tried to correct me on something about what was it, Dylan running. I said, yeah, Dylan went down to Bethany's room, and she was like, no, she didn't actually do that. She tried to correct me on the show, and then I had to call their producer the next day and go, see, look, it's right here. That's incorrect. You might want to, so yeah, it's kind of weird how it works like that. Sideways at verdict or sentencing, he'd be way worse. Yeah, I mean, this is the way you got to look at it. If you want to look at a glass half, I'm totally with him. I would feel exactly the same way. But what I was saying the other day was the fact that Madison Mogen's parents and I think Ethan's parents, they're okay with this because they need to focus all these years. They'll be able to move to the next chapter in their life and start raise the other kids, etc. Madison Mogen's parents don't have another kid. I mean, how sad is that? But they have to deal with this. But they just want to be able to move on and not have years and years and years of anger, because there'd be the appeals if you got the death penalty, etc. But I mean, look at it like this. Let's say you went to trial. This is how they might want to look at it. If it went to trial, and I've said this on the last few shows, but you go to trial and he's found guilty, and everybody's like, yeah. But then there's holdouts that don't want to give him the death penalty because, maybe they bought into the autism or there's just something off and we just can't. So they don't want to give him the death penalty. And so now the judge gives him life without, the same. They don't have life without parole, but consecutive 40 year. He's in prison for 160 years. But guess what? He would then have appeals. He would have appeal after appeal after appeal after appeal in that scenario. But he doesn't have that with the deal they made. So basically, it's about as bad as you can get for Kohberger. He took on this deal. And let me ask you guys this. Shouldn't the Kohbergers realize that the fact that he took the deal without being able to appeal, shouldn't that tell you that he did this? I mean, what innocent person would go, you know what, I'll take prison for the rest of my life and I have no chance of ever getting out if you didn't do it? There's no way in hell you would do that. It's not like an Alford plea. There's no way in hell somebody would do an Alford plea and then accept never being able to appeal anything. And I also think that's a weird thing that exists, that you can sign your right to appeal away. I mean, let's just say it was a different kind of a case. and you signed that away, and then a piece of evidence came forward, I guess, here's the thing. If a person's willing to sign that away, that means there's no doubt that they did it, right? So nothing's ever going to come forward later that would exonerate somebody. But hey, guys, if you're out there, if you want to help support the channel, maybe we can make up for that night a few days ago where we had the record-setting lowest night in the history of doing the show in the last 5 years. Let's see. The appeals process never allow the door to close. It's like a revolving door that the people left behind have to keep circling through. Yeah. And I know I repeat myself but that just shows you that I think the same thing. I don't, I'm not wishy-washy. Hey, thanks so much, Annabella Roma. Ooh, you, God, that's funny. It's funny. It's funny. Whenever I watch those things, I don't look at it like it's myself. I just look at it like I was somebody else. What were we just talking about just then? Oh yeah. Yeah, it would just go on and on forever. Fixler is bad too, said Queen Road was not even, I don't even know who that is.
Said Queen Road was DD and it didn't loop around behind 1122 and he was out there too. Sloppy journalism.
Who's D? I don't even know who that is. Said Queen Road was dead end and didn't stop. Oh yeah. It's funny. I mean, it loops around for sure. At the beginning, look at. Here's the thing: if you look at a map like this, I thought it was a dead end too when I just looked at it. See that?
Smiley face emoji.
And the road doesn't continue.
Emoji, ocean wave emoji.
Hey, thanks, Dixie Hippie. See right there where it goes, like. See, that's how you can drive. But notice how the roads on Google Earth. Now, let me turn them off, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Watch. Notice how it doesn't have a road there. So I can see why somebody would say that. However, there's been so many videos. I can't tell you how many videos I've made where I actually drive through there in my car and put it in the videos. So for somebody to not know that you can drive through there at this point, you'd have to, have something wrong with your brain. One of the things I think is, in that recent special that just came out, not the Dateline one, but the next one, they had the car on one of the loops drive like this. It drove down Queen Road and then turned up this side street here. How come they don't know the truth? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. How come a huge network like that doesn't know that the vehicle drove around here? I think it was even in the Dateline one. It was the Dateline one because they used that girl's animation. They have it going like this. Or maybe it was maybe it was the second one. Oh, that's right. I think they had their own vehicle and they drove it around with a drone or something. And they go like that. How do you not know that on every pass it came around like this? I mean, is there anybody in here that doesn't know that at this point? I mean, God, I've been doing videos on the fact that it did that for over 2 years. And the Linda Lane footage has been out for 2 years. Yeah, I like to call it. I had the calls are available. I can open it up for calls. I've posted it twice in there, but nobody called in.
Loved the call-ins last night too.
That was cool, wasn't it? You guys want to do? I got to go use the restroom. But when I come back, I'll put the number up there. I'll pin it, and if anybody wants to come on and talk about different elements, that'd be cool. And in the meantime, what's that other music that I used to play? Oh yeah, let's do that one instead. All right, there you go. I like that music. All right, here it is. So anybody call in and talk about whatever your thoughts are on all this. I mean, there's so many different little variables that we could discuss. I know it's weird how it works on the networks, and I feel like every time I go on there, I'm always saying stuff that like, wow, other people aren't really talking about, and it's accurate. That's the thing. I'm not saying something that's not true. Like when I go on Court TV, I'm telling the truth. Mm-hmm. I don't trust this like in prison stuff with the Innocence Project trying to get Scott. I know. God, that was disappointing. I used to donate to the Innocence Project, but them trying to free Scott Peterson, what a joke. And that guy absolutely did it. I mean, it's just one of those things. Well, what about that other break-in, Gray? I don't know. Just look at the details on Scott Peterson, though. Yeah. It is the AI version of every great cop show theme music from the late 70s. Yeah. Well, anyways, ask more questions. If you guys have any more questions, I like answering questions, or at least giving you my thought on them, because I've thought of just about every single element of this case over and over and over again. And we've covered thousands of cases on here. So when people go, well, Gray, you're not a cop, you're not a this, and you're not a that, I don't really give a shit, man. I've covered so many cases, I might as well be one, I mean, I've actually had detectives and police officers email me to say, wow, that's crazy. Because I would cover these cold cases, and all we'd had were the newspaper articles to go over. And they would say, man, you're able to figure out what happened in a case that I know about just by reading the papers. It's like, well, there you go. I mean, if you think, the thing is, if you think logically and reasonable, you can do it. If you start doing, jumping to crazy conspiracies right away, you have no chance. There's only been one case that we've covered that, threw us all for a loop. And, I've said it 100 times. It's the one about she was like an 18-year-old Hispanic woman with her husband. I think they were like immigrants or whatever, it doesn't really matter, but she was pregnant. And then there's video of her walking away from school, because she was at school while she was pregnant. And then she just disappeared. And I thought, oh man, maybe that wasn't the father's kid. And maybe, you're just kind of throwing through all this stuff. Maybe that wasn't the father's kid. Maybe that was there might be some other guy that she took off with. But the true story is that on Facebook, she went to buy, I think it was like a stroller or something like that for her kid that she's going to have. So she went over to meet somebody at their house, and while she was at the house, the woman there strangled her to death from behind and then cut the baby out of her and wanted to pretend that she had the baby. And I think the baby ended up dying too, like at the hospital. I mean, it was just the sickest thing you've ever seen. I mean, how would you even guess something like that? That was one of those ones that was just so out of there. Remember that one? That was. Oh, and you want to hear something even weirder, you guys? So during that case, when they found when she was killed and she was pregnant, like 2 days later, they found a baby sitting on top of a garbage can, wrapped up or something. And you'd think, oh, well, of course that's the baby, right? But it wasn't. It was some other, just totally unrelated thing. I mean, it was just nuts, that whole situation. Yeah. According to sources of Anjanette Levy, the AG was pulling the strings regarding the plea deal. Anjanette Levy, I was on her show one time. Right. That's one of the ones that went from like a YouTube network to having their own channel, and they immediately get all these subs and all the connections, and he was pulling all the strings. But why did they say it sounded like it was kind of like a situation where it was really tenuous, like, oh, what was that all about? And when you say he was pulling all the strings, what does that mean? I mean, couldn't he then told Kohberger to confess and, give us the details, tell us where he put the weapon? If he didn't do that, he's an idiot. Okay? I'll just tell you that right now. If Bill Thompson, I said it last night, if Bill Thompson did not ask and get, without making the deal, all the details and where he put the knife, then he's an absolute idiot. Yeah, Law and Crime. Yeah, the Law and Crime Network. And then they have all their people are doing their own little YouTube channels, and it just really just floods the market. It's hard for people like me to, even though the thing is, I feel like I put this shit together. I don't have the connections to, get the next piece of new inside information, but I am able to put the information together that they don't know what to do with. It's pretty bizarre, It's a bizarre situation. Now, so what does that mean? He was pulling the strings. I mean, he's the one. I thought it was Ann Taylor has been trying to get Kohberger to plead for a long time, and their last two Hail Marys didn't work. So, of course, they then decided to do that. Let's see if we can get 5 more channel memberships to get to a round number. and that'll help make up for the night where the entire night's channel took in, I think it was $32. That was like an absolute set us back an entire day. How soon can you get your hands on details after the gag order? Well, I have different requests to go out and get that information, different things like videos and things, and I'm definitely going to send something into the Latah County Prosecutor's Office and see if I can get all of the releasable information regarding the Bryan Kohberger case. I think what they need to do is just put everything together that can be released and put it on a website or something that people can just download it. Just get on there, download it, or on a thumb drive that you can just order instead of tell us specifically what you want, and then somebody go, I don't know what that means, and you're just going back and forth. They will be swamped with requests, and you can't send. I asked today. I actually talked to one of the people, and you can't. If you send it early, they'll just deny it. But as soon as it's been cleared, you can send it in. So you almost want to just sort of be waiting, And I'm going to assume that on the 23rd, it is going to be lifted. Yeah, I know, Julie. That guy's a clown. Don't ever bring that name up in here again. Yeah, he's the one that said that Ron Logan's the killer in the Delphi case. Yeah, you can take that to the bank. That guy is he's not finding anything. If Bill Thompson got the information and gave it to him, like, hey, yeah, look in the river over here, I guess it's possible. But he's not finding it because he's sleuthing around and like kind of just looking at it. Yeah. I mean, he was so adamant that Ron Logan was the killer, even after Richard Allen was arrested. He caused a lot of people to start thinking he was part of the reason, exactly why there's pro-burgers. There was these Richard Allenites. I like that. That sounds pretty good. Allenites, right? It's just amazing how unethical or weird some of these people are on YouTube regarding the way they say about why is it acceptable to do that? It's crazy. Once Gray took out the whole Venmo message for a moment. What does that mean, Jessica? I'm not sure. Well, YouTubers went out to the crime scene and found more evidence. They didn't find anything. That's not true. Yeah, you're talking about the glove. That's complete garbage. Yeah, that's garbage. Midnight Coup. You got suckered in by that YouTuber. Can you believe that? People believe that shit. Oh my God. You're talking about the Idaho case, right? You're not talking about Delphi, are you? No, I'm not doing. I didn't plan to do CrimeCon this year, mainly because the trial was going to be during that time, and now it's kind of too late. If I go to CrimeCon, I get a booth. I have a booth there. I'm not a stroller walking around. I'm one of the people, that do this. So I've had 2 times I've gone there. I've had booths, and so if I ever went again, I'd have a booth. Yeah, that's just complete garbage, Julie. I mean, it wasn't even there. Go check out. There's like this girl that debunked the whole thing. He said he was there on Thanksgiving. However, in the documents, it said that the glove was found on the 20th, and that's not when Thanksgiving was. So there's a lot of oddities to that story. And it had nothing to do with the case, as it turns out. So who cares? That'll be your first one? Well, sorry I couldn't go. I know Sandy Shirley's going to be there. It'd be cool to meet her. But yeah, you guys, let's see if we can get those 5. Now I'm just going for a number to try to get to the 5 more channel memberships. And then we can, have had a normal type night on that one night that we got screwed. No, sorry, the W. Collier case, we got way off the path. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nobody on the YouTuber. I was correct on the W. Collier case, except this is the evolvement of the W. Collier case. When I was going over it, I said, "You guys, I think she took her own life. You know, look at how this all works. Ding, 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 ding." Then I got a hold of the lead investigator, and he said, "Well, we can't find the container that brought the liquid, the flammable liquid there." And so I was like, "Okay, well, that's a game changer. That means whoever it was took it with them." So I told the people on my channel, I go, "Look, it sounds like they think it might be a homicide because they can't find the container that held the gasoline, or And then I said, "But you know what?" And we went through it again. I go, "It still just seems like she took her own life." And then a couple days later, they said that they found the container. It was melted, that contained the flammable liquid, and then they ruled it that she took her own life. So there you go. I mean, even when I had to tell everybody, and I was like, I felt dumb because I was like, okay, well, it looks like she did do something. I mean, she was killed, but then it turns out she wasn't because they found that item later. Yeah, I think he probably did too, Derek. I don't believe that he found that glove there at all. Just given his history, it's not credible. Oh, it got off the path. Yeah, what we're talking about. Yeah. Okay, nobody called in tonight. Man, you guys suck. Not one person. Holy crap. Yeah, no, it's up there. You see the pin at the top of the chat? There's a pin there. It has the phone number on it. And let's get those last 5 memberships while we're doing this. There's a lot of people in here, if you notice, that have the white names. It'd be cool to get some of them converted over, as long as they stay around after their free month is up. There's a $1.99 option to stay. Yeah, no, the whole glove thing is just, I mean, what are the odds of something like that? And the dates don't match up. The Congo is the deepest river in the world. Wow, that's way off path there. I read parts of the Snake River are there's no river in the world that's 8,000 feet deep. Maybe, 800 would be ludicrously deep. 8,000 is over a mile, mile and a half. There's no river in the world that's a mile and a half deep. There are lakes that are, I don't 8,000. There's no lake that's 8,000. Crater Lake's pretty deep, though. What's the depth of that one? I think it's only like 5. It's 1,900, almost 2,000 feet. That's pretty deep. Yeah, Hell's Canyon might be 8,000 from the dirt. above, like the top of the canyon. That's not the river. Yeah, so Hell's Canyon is the deepest river gorge in North America. Plunges to a maximum depth of 7,993 feet, according to, and so then you could say, well, what river goes through? It's going to be the Snake River, Hell's Canyon. And it's the Snake River. Okay. What is the deepest portion of the Snake River? Let's see. Now, see that they're not wording it right. I see what you're saying, because they're going by the top of the cliff to the bottom of the water. Okay. The water, not the cliff. The deepest portion of Snake River in terms of water depth is located in Hell's Canyon. The canyon border, while the canyon itself reaches depths of almost 8,000 feet from its rim, the specific water depth within the Snake River varies. One source mentions a specific depth at the mouth of Granite Creek, roughly 7 miles downstream from Hell's Canyon Dam, where the river elevation is 1,480 feet. However, this figure represents the river's elevation, not its deepest point. Right? See, there you go. Yeah, it's not going to be. It'll be like 100 feet. All right. I mean, just kind of use common sense when you're thinking about these things. Yep, there's still nobody's called in tonight, and we're not getting the 5 more memberships. So I think we're going to call this a night here pretty soon, unless you guys have any more. I mean, there's so many other elements we haven't discussed. So what else? You guys have any questions or? Oh, and Cheryl Moran hasn't been feeling well. She's got something I had a while back. So put out those positive vibes for her too. Yeah, Denver would have been cool because it's closer. They always have them on the East Coast. Does anybody know where it is next year? Usually that comes out. Did show the Madeline Soto crime scene. Yeah, I think I showed a version where it was all blurred out, so you couldn't see it. Yeah, I didn't show it. I blurred out her completely, but then the rest you could see. Remember how I did that, where just sort of some, like a color. That's about all you could see. Well, what's the question? Just say it. Cool, little D. I could. I just want to take off, though. Yeah. Now let me see the other one. I thought I only saw. Oh yeah, there's another one. 2 of them. All right, so we'll look at these other ones. But man, I always think it's weird how it just, like, we do these shows and then all of a sudden it just stops. The support stuff. It's just weird out of nowhere. And that makes it so you can't. That's like, okay, we're on a roll. Let's get and then it doesn't get there. Look at this. Look at this crazy crap right here. Like, that's an entire house. I mean, I guess you could sort of try to write it out on top of that, but I mean, if there was anybody in there, they're not alive. I mean, it's... So that's one. And then, yeah, I watched this one too. I watched all of them. This one was kind of weird. These guys are idiots in this last one. They seem to just be playing with fire here. I mean, it's very similar to like a tidal wave. I mean, it's the same, like just kind of this miniature, well, not even a miniature version, but... Yeah, you should have. Why'd you even go there, though? What a stupid... Margo. Isn't that crazy how just all of a sudden there's all this... Look right there. Look. I don't know what. Was there something wrong with my audio? What are you guys talking about? Can you guys not hear that or what? Right. Well, that's because there's audio playing.
Oh, it's coming this way. It's coming this way.
Have I sound like I'm in a bottle the whole night that I'm talking? Like the entire... Well, maybe... It looks like it's been adjusted down because that audio was so loud that StreamYards has... let's see. Yeah. So now we're back up to normal again. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. But it's going to get blown out again. Let me turn down this audio. Maybe that'll...
It's coming. Look, it's all wet. It's all water all up in there. Get out of the way, baby.
Oh, Dre, what?
You see it coming? Whew.
Yeah, crazy. Well, there you go. Thanks for sending those, Derek. Yeah, they just stood there. Kind of idiots. Yeah, we talked about the sliding glass door earlier. So the sliding glass door was either broken or he broke it, but we know it was broken because law enforcement was using chairs to keep it closed because they couldn't latch it. So either Kohberger broke it that night and it was still, and then it's broken, or it was already broken and he just easily was able to get in. I mean, it's really simple and it doesn't really matter. There's no relevance. Like, it's just sort of a factoid to talk about. Like, oh yeah, here we go. It's just not relevant to the case. It's just sort of like he got in and he killed him. We know that, right? So, whether it was unlocked or he broke it or however he got in, right? He admits to doing it. So that's what I'm saying. And so that's kind of how I do true crime. I don't keep focusing in on things that have very little value to figuring out what happened in, the important what happened part. I don't know how to explain it better. It's just, like the whole Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk thing. I've only ever sat there and defended them and never cared why, like, wow, how come they waited 8 hours? Because I knew early on that Bryan Kohberger is the sole killer just by the facts of the case. It was obvious. So that means Dylan and Bethany have nothing to do with it. And to sit there and spend all day talking about it over and over, doing videos and videos and videos, it's a complete waste of time, and you're never getting anywhere. So we just keep moving forward, looking at what can we figure out that matters. And that's why I do the timeline. I do get the facts of the case, put it out there in order, surveillance footage and stuff like that. That stuff actually matters. Right. All right. Well, anyways, I think that's going to do it for me tonight, you guys. Appreciate you being here and everybody being so generous supporting the channel. I got Timothy Cecil. Well, let me do it over here. Timothy Cecil and Cheryl gifted a membership. Amber gifted a membership. Miss Wynn Rocks. Then Michelle H. Amber M. Derek Sherman gifted one. Then we had Sandy Shirley. Esther M. 22 months. Sweet. Yep, got to 160,000 subs. And then we have twice. I've been there twice. Oh yeah, and then Derek Sherman. Wonder if BK called his dad that morning. I think it actually ended up. It was. They said more recently that it was the mom. And then Ted Bundy giving us. Why can't I just ever remember the guy? That's one of the serial killers' name that never just pops into my head. Millennial. Randy Lewis. Ted Bundy gave us Gary Ridgway's The Green River Killer address. Millennial. Randy Lewis. Ted Bundy. Yeah, I'm taking off. Nobody called in. I mean, it's a total. That's what I set aside, and nobody's calling in. And I'm not going to do it. Then we had Amber Maiden with a cat eye there. Really helped out a lot there. And then Dixie Hippie. K-Me gifted one. Then Scottster. Then K-Me. Then Ted Bundy. But do you know where Xana ordered from DoorDash? Well, I think she ordered from her house, but there's only one Jack in the Box, and that's in Pullman. And I think she lived in Pullman, the DoorDash driver, so that's more evidence. Then Dixie Hippie gifted one. Then Derek gifted one. Then Derek gifted another one. Then Lanky Tor gifted 5. Then K-Me gifted 5. And then we were on a roll there. And then Maria became a member all by herself. Thank you. Then Derek Sherman. Derek Sherman again, and then Derek Sherman again, and then Derek Sherman again. Then I gifted 5. Then we had Annabelle Roma, Zachary, Dixie Hippie, and Alexander. Sweet. All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much for the show and, getting us to a goal, got somewhere tonight. Pretty cool. And, we're just going to have to keep looking around. If you have any, interesting topics you want to talk about, send me an email on it. But we're going to, I got to cover this until we get all of the information that's going to be coming out. And I definitely want to cover some other things, but it has to be cases that other people really want to watch, because as we saw the other night, when the one night I went and tried to do the Virginia Beach serial killer day 2, that was the worst night we've had in 5 years. So it's kind of like, well, I can't really do those. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And let's see what tomorrow brings. All right. Well, thanks again. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And now I got to figure out where the hell there it is right there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is it's Alan McMahon. Crime dissector. Like rejector.
I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get you on a stretcher. Eat it right, bring me like a little projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray's gonna give another lecture.
Freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector.
Need a flector, interceptor, and I'll meet a little speckle with a vector. Goodbye, Robin. See you later, Robin. I have no agenda. I never tender. And I'll serve it to you straight out of a blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send you on a mission to the true vendor.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back. Oh my God, what the hell was that, man?
Good night, everybody. Gee.
Man, I haven't heard you do that in a long time.
Well, you always end the show before I get to, Greg. Go.
Oh my God. Just complain. Sounds like a lot of the people in the comments section after the videos. Be safe.